Alright, welcome back to the Supercoach Enough channel. In this video, we're going to preview round 5 of the 2026 NRL Fantasy season. So before we talk about my team specifically, we're going to have a look at the who's hot and who's not list, thanks to NRL Fantasy Stats website, getting all that sweet data for us. So on the who's hot list, number 1, Arama Howe, or Ho, I keep saying Howe. The videos, apologise, Rama. Yeah, 4.4% of owners bringing him in, which is pretty hot apparently. I think the issue is he's an awkward price, 447k. I'm sure he will make some cash, but will he make enough to justify a couple of trades? Because obviously with the amount of edges we've got, if you're keeping him for the season, you believe in him that much, then no, fair play. Yeah, someone who did start with him, yeah, I'm not in that boat, so I don't have to worry. Yeah, he's a good pick. Obviously, has the ability, real Leka Halasima type areas in terms of potential based on his breakout game last week. Yeah, bring him in, but he's probably not the first one on my list. The next one, probably his first on my list, if I'm being honest, Jarish Papali'i. So at about 300k, does have a high-ish break even. He may lose a bit of cash this week, but he's got the job security and he's got the role. He is probably a fullback by trade, and he gets first crack at it with Yongi missing for the next 8 weeks or so. So a good opportunity to make some cash and probably score some points at wing fullback, where some of the cheapies have been a bit hot and cold for us to start the year. Alex Twal, also super hot, number 3. I think if you're looking at him as a season-long keeper in the middle, he offers good value. So, yeah, I do like the pick. I'm probably not going there this week. I'm sort of going in a slightly different direction. Yeah, I can get around Alex Twal in the team. David Farley at number 4. So, cheap centre, 250k. I guess not being wing fullback as well would be nice if you had the dual position, but might not make it in time for the first lot of positional changes as well. So you might be stuck with a pure centre for a few weeks. I guess with the way my team's positioned, I'm not bringing him in this week, but I'm certainly having a look, and I'm not afraid to pay an extra 50k or so if he goes good in this week. So if you got everything else sorted and you want to bring him in as a cheap cover in your back line, go for it. But I don't think there's any harm in waiting 1 week. The next two on the list, Harry Grant, Blake Brayley, obviously covering for Reed Marnie at hooker. Seems like they're probably the two main options at the moment. I do want to have a bit of a closer look at Reece Robson, but he's obviously not available this week with the bye. But yeah, I'd go for Harry Grant over Brayley, just because Brayley has a couple of buys leading up to and then in the first big Origin buy round. Whereas Harry Grant will obviously miss with Origin, but he will play every week up until then. So I wouldn't begrudge anyone bringing either or in. Take your pick. Personal preference for me to be Harry Grant. Fletcher Hunt, so a bit like Papali'i, has the position playing fullback at the Knights. I think he is dual position, which is nice. He is just a slightly elevated price. But if you've got the cash to swap a Setu 2 to Fletcher Hunt, I don't hate it. I'm probably looking at Papali'i just because he's slightly cheaper. And yeah, I guess a former Bulldogs junior as well, so a little bit of bias there. Hamish Stewart, so I think last week was perfect for him because of the outs of Toby and Ryan Couchman. There was massive minutes for him to fill, which he did very well. But with Toby coming back, I think the minutes drop a bit. So you're not getting 71 this week. Um, but he will make a bit of cash. Could be a stepping stone to a keeper. So I don't hate it, but it is two trades as well. So it depends how much you value two trades for in terms of cash generation. Reece Walsh at number 9. So I'm not a big fan of bringing in elite wing fullbacks early in the season. I think there's more value in some other positions usually. Um, but again, if you're going to keep him for the season, it's one trade, bring him in. Phoenix Crossland's an interesting one. So haven't even looked at him to be honest. Obviously, this is a Reed Marnie fix up trade. So yeah, not sure why we're bringing him in. A break even at 37 is not outstanding. He scored 52, 48, 52. I guess maybe the 80 minutes is what people like and the work rate because even when they bring Harrison Graham in, he can slot into the lock position. Um, so yeah, just probably doesn't have the upside. Like Harry Grant, Blake Brayley probably have a little bit more in terms of attacking upside. Um, yeah, that's for me. I wouldn't be banging him in. Nathan Cleary, well, I'll probably say it every time we see his name on the list. Number one fantasy player. If you've got the option, bring him in. Adam Dewey, don't hate it as a pick. Um, ticks all the boxes of like main playmaker, kicks goals. Um, yeah, it's nice price. I think he's still got a little bit of cash to make too. But again, I'm going to go something slightly different this week. Tom Jenkins. So I don't know what he's worth in fantasy. 668k. Obviously, he's scoring tries for fun at the moment. 10 tries in 4 games. Um, like even when he scored 2 tries against the Sharks, he managed to pump out a 31 somehow. 4 errors will probably do it for you. Um, but yeah, I guess when the tries dry up, I don't know how much base he has. Run meters are decent to be fair. A few tackle breaks is nice, but yeah, obviously being a winger, not a lot in the tackling department. I don't know where that is actually. Where's the tackles? Is that how bad he? Oh, Yeah, so that's why it's all in single digits, which I'm not used to. So yeah, yeah. I mean, he's going well, so I understand the appeal, but again, not for me. Yeah, Tom Chester. So looks like he had the 1 week off, but he's straight back into the spot. Looks like it's his to lose. Laybutt just come off the bench, that sort of thing. So yeah, if you haven't got Tommy Chester, I think you can bring him in. And then Jock Madden. So don't know what he did last week. To be fair, probably again not one I'm looking at particularly. Um, was that just making up for you? So 56 in his 1 game. So and I don't know. He's priced at 30. He's got a break even at 28. Don't know how he's got a break even at 28 if he scored a 56. Is that a typo or something? Don't know. Can't do the maths there, but yeah, don't see the appeal in it. Just yeah, not for me. Who's not? So Reed Marnie at number 1. I think yeah, if you're going to go to Grant or Brayley, um, makes sense. Yeah, I'm probably just prioritising other positions than hooker at the moment. I don't think there's a lot of value at hooker. Um, so whatever. A Youngie injured long term, easy cut. Moses Leo out this week at least with the concussion. And probably, it's a bit of stunted cash generation. So, yeah, do what you want with him. I'd probably be holding just to see if I could squeeze more cash out, but that might not be the right move. Set 2-2, so not playing. Looks like he has lost the position. So I think, yeah, you can cut him. Ryan Couchman's an interesting one. It's like if you held him last week, you've only got, what is it, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, something like that for his suspension. Like you're pretty much halfway there. Did you give us any information here? Can't remember. So yeah, I want to say 3 weeks, but then I'm thinking that's Tristan Cherry in the AFL. I think he might have got 4 weeks. So still got 3 weeks to go. 2 weeks ago, I've got no idea. But yeah, I think the moral of the story is just hold. He's going to make cash when he comes back. Maybe find another way to fund your trades. Mitchell Moses, middling halfback. Yep, I think you can get rid of him if you can get to a Dewey. So I think that's a pretty sweet trade. Payne Haas, again, I like it might be a question mark over the shoulder, but just hold. I don't think it's worth two trades when he has the potential to play this week. Lasardi, probably copy and paste what I said for Couchman. If you've held him this long, probably just keep holding. I'm going to assume it's his spot when he comes back in week 7. Bailey Haywood, so yeah, I think's just scoring what he was priced at. So yeah, if you can get out of the pick, great. But again, not a rush to get out of the hooker position. James Tedesco on the bye this week and a little bit underwhelming to start the year. Um, so probably Tedesco to Walsh is the popular move. I think you get to make one sort of sideways move like that this season. So if that's yours, good luck to you. Dan Atkinson, yeah, probably, didn't score well last week. Um, be interesting to see how with Flanagan out of the team, how that affects him. But yeah, he's on the chopping block for me this week. Angus Crichton on the bye, and again, probably a little bit underwhelming to start the year. So, okay. Dave Fafita's probably, I don't know why you'd hold him for the bye and then trade him out this week. That does not make sense to me at all. Tui, obviously, with the news that he had a stroke seemingly. Not sure how long that puts you out for, but all the best to you, big fella. And Sam Walker on the bye again, probably underwhelming. So I think you can chop him. So in terms of my trades this week, the first one I've pretty much already given away. Setu 2, we're trading out and we're bringing in Joash Papali'i. So we'll lock that one in. And we actually make money out of that trade. As I said, he may lose a bit more cash this week, but yeah, I think long term he's going up above 260. So but we've got 385k to spend. So you could look at getting a Farley in at bottom dollar. Um, but honestly, we probably need to use some of this money in the bank. Um, and so where I'm looking is, Atkinson might not, make money this week. He did drop 8k last week, so probably the break even's not where we want it. But we have the ability to upgrade him, and you could look at an Adam Dewey. Tanner Boyd's been popular, but the fact he wasn't on the list is just all but confirmed that I'm going with Jaden Campbell. So we talked about Adam Dewey ticks all the boxes. Sort of the main play, dominant playmaker, kicks goals, all that good stuff. Obviously, Campbell's the same. The difference is maybe the Gold Coast aren't in as good a form as the Tigers. Um, but, Jaden Campbell just showed the other week that he can line it up out of nowhere. So, um, yeah, he was probably one if he was fit at the start of the year. I probably would have tried to fit him in the team. We tried the Dylan Brown, Atkinson, Sanders sort of mid-range options. None of them really worked out for us, albeit Dylan Brown wasn't his fault. And we are keeping Sanders for now. But yeah, I think if we have a bit more cash coming, which again the cheapies, Lasardi, Couchman around the corner, I think we might be targeting Dewey as our third half. So um, some people might say, well, why don't you take Dewey now? And because what's Campbell's break even if I do that? And now that I'm saying it out loud, I might talk myself into it. But he's got a break even of 46. What's his fixture like coming up? Fixtures. So he's got Broncos, Eels, Warriors. Does have a bye in round 8, which isn't ideal. And then another bye in round 13. Then last one in round 18. So I guess obviously the Tigers have already had one bye, round 1, which was handy. But yeah, again, it's just a pod move. The hope is that Campbell outscores Dewey, and if we have to pay a bit more to get Dewey in, if it is about 750, same sort of price as what we're paying for Campbell, I can live with it. So we'll bring those two in, make the trades. So put the team together. We'll go with like the strength, I suppose, which probably does mean Payne Haas comes back into the starting lineup. Um, Stewart, Mooney, Colquhoun, kind of take your pick there. Probably Mooney is going to stay on the team longer, I think. Um, Edges, we've got too many, it would seem. But Fafita plays Friday, so he'll go in. The other early doors pick, probably Joe Chan, so that worked out. Um, but in saying that, we're probably pushing all three bench edges into the 17. Um, Papali's got to come in for Fayamani. That's a no-brainer. Chester, Macassini can swap. Just think Chester's got a more solid base to score from. So, so I think that's probably our strongest like starting 13. Um, and so then the bench. So probably got 6 viable options that we could play this week. The Raiders against the Knights is a favourable matchup, so probably back Sanders with a bit of attack and Martin for sure. Lukey against the Dragons, I think, is a nice matchup. Rama Howe against the Broncos. I think their left edge has probably been the more susceptible, and that's the one he'll be running at. So I do like that pick. Colquhoun, I think, against the Warriors. Sort of part of the reason we brought him in is we needed someone to cover for a week. He'll make some more cash, but yeah, he'll definitely be an upgrade merchant in a couple of weeks. And then Stewart with the potentially reduced minutes against the Cowboys. Again, their defense hasn't been fantastic. I guess the other wrinkle as well is, Joe Chan plays against Penrith, whose defense has been outstanding. So do we sit Chan for a week? We don't really have any Roosters or players like that we can use to loop him, unless we bring back Sedu too, but we definitely want to get Papali'i in. Um, Stewart or Chan for the last sort of spot. Stewart's output been like outside of last week? Fixtures. Just give us minutes or anything interesting like that. Match stats, that'll be it. Um, so he played the same minutes as what he has been, 58, 58. So, yes, I guess obviously the try assist helped boost his score a little bit last week. Also, no misses for tackles was nice. A few more run meters. Probably again might have had to run the ball more. But also, the Dogs and Storm were tougher fixtures to begin. So maybe this scoring is more predictive. All right, let's go back somehow. What about Joe Chen? What's his deal? We know his deal is he scored a lot of points one week, not so long ago. 83 against the Broncos. But outside of that, so when he doesn't score a try, which is probably the case against Penrith, 40s. Just tackling all right, running the ball, few misses. Yeah, all right. I think that's clarified that for me. Um, so who plays? So Hill and Lukey probably is the next one in line. So we'll throw Hamish Stewart on field. Joe Chan, emergency 5. So that's the team. Captain, vice captain. Um, I guess now we got Payne Haas back. It's probably just the safe options. Um, I guess with fantasy, because we can't do loopholes and stuff. Um, I think what we'll do is we'll put Payne Haas as captain. Um, Back him in against the Titans forward pack, and if he does miss with this shoulder, Cleary I'm happy with as VC. So I think that's going to be the team going into round 5 of the 2026 NRL Fantasy season. As always, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, feel free to add them below this video. Give us a like if you enjoy the fantasy NRL content. Subscribe for all the fantasy sports content on the channel. And other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.